The day my sister stole my car started like any other, with me juggling 3 different alarms just to make it to my first job on time. I'm Cameron, and until last week, I was the proud owner of a 2018 Honda Civic. Not exactly a Ferrari, but it was mine. All mine. Paid for with 2 years of double shifts, skipped lunches, and saying no to every happy hour invitation that came my way. "You're going to be late again," Mum called from the kitchen as I rushed past, grabbing my thermos of coffee. "And don't forget, family meeting tonight." Family meeting. Those words should have been my first warning. I made it through my shift at the accounting firm, scarfed down a protein bar in my car, then headed straight to my evening job at the mall. By the time I got home, my sister Leah's BMW was parked in the driveway. The same BMW she'd gotten in her divorce settlement. The one she'd supposedly totaled last month while crying about her ex-husband on the phone. "There's my baby sister!" Leah's voice carried through the house as I walked in. She was sprawled on our parents' couch, still in her yoga pants despite it being 7 p.m. Mum and Dad are waiting in the kitchen. The kitchen felt smaller than usual, with all 4 of us crowded round the table. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes, which was never a good sign. Mum cleared her throat. "As you know, Leah's going through a difficult time." "It's been 3 months since the divorce," I muttered. "Don't interrupt," Mum snapped. "Your sister needs a fresh start, a new image. And since you're the only one in the family with a reliable car right now..." My stomach dropped. No way. "Cameron," Dad finally spoke, his voice weak. "It would really help your sister out." "Help her out? That car is mine. I worked my arse off." "Language," Mum cut in. "I worked extremely hard for that car. I'm still paying insurance on it." Leah's lips curved into that familiar smirk, the same one she'd worn when she'd borrowed my prom dress and returned it with wine stains. "Come on, Cam. You can take the bus for a while. It's not like you go anywhere exciting anyway." "This isn't about where I go. It's my car." Mum's face hardened. "Cameron Jane Davidson, your sister needs this. She's starting over. You know how hard divorce is." "No. Actually, I don't. Because I've been too busy working to even date." "That's your choice," Leah said sweetly. "Just like it's your choice to be selfish right now." Dad cleared his throat. The car would really help Leah get back on her feet. You know, job interviews, networking. "I need it for my actual jobs. 2 of them. Remember those?" "You managed before you had a car," Mum said firmly. "This family needs to stick together right now. Leah needs our support." I looked at each of their faces. Mum's stern disapproval, Dad's guilty avoidance, Leah's barely concealed triumph. "So what exactly are you saying?" "We're saying," Mum continued, "that you need to give Leah your car keys. Tonight." The silence that followed felt like a punch to the gut. My hands started shaking as I dug through my purse, fingers closing around the familiar keychain, a small silver star I'd bought myself as a celebration when I'd made the final payment. "This isn't fair," I whispered, but I was already holding the keys out, because that's what I always did. What I was trained to do. Give in. Keep the peace. Take care of the family. Leah snatched them before I could change my mind. "Thanks, sis. I promise I'll take good care of it." I watched numbly as she bounced out of the kitchen, followed by our parents fawning over her mature decision to start fresh. Through the window, I saw her slide into my car, adjusting the mirrors I'd so carefully positioned. She revved the engine twice, probably just to twist the knife, then pulled out of the driveway like she'd owned it all along. I stood there long after they'd all left the kitchen, my hand still curved around the phantom shape of my keys. Something hot and unfamiliar was building in my chest. Not just anger, but something darker. Something that whispered that maybe, just maybe, it was time to stop being the good daughter. My phone buzzed. A text from Quinn. "Still on for coffee tomorrow?" I typed back quickly. "Yeah, and I need your help with something." Because this wasn't over, not by a long shot. Leah might have my car tonight, but she had no idea what she'd just started. "You missed the 7:15 again?" Quinn slid a coffee across the table to me at our usual cafe. "That's the 3rd time this week." I collapsed into the chair, my feet aching from the 2-mile walk from the bus stop. The bus was early. Or late. I don't even know anymore. I took a long sip of coffee, savouring the warmth. My boss gave me another punctuality is professionalism lecture this morning. This is insane, Cam. You can't keep living like this. Tell that to my family. I pulled out my phone, showing Quinn my new commute schedule, a complex web of bus times, walking routes, and prayer. Look at this. I have to leave an hour earlier just to maybe make it on time. Quinn's face darkened. And how's Princess Leia enjoying your car? As if on cue, my phone buzzed with an Instagram notification. Leia had posted another selfie posing against my car's hood at some trendy downtown spot. The caption read, "Living my best life. Cuss blessed, new beginnings." Oh, she's living her best life all right, I said, tossing my phone face down. Meanwhile, I nearly got fired yesterday because I was late to my second job. The mall's across town, and the evening bus only runs every hour. You know what really kills me? Quinn leaned forward. Remember when you were saving for that car? When Leia was still married to Braxton? The memory hit like a slap. Yeah. She used to laugh about how I was wasting my youth working so much. Exactly. While you were picking up extra shifts, she was maxing out Braxton's credit cards on spa days and designer bags. I stirred my coffee absently. Did I tell you she got a speeding ticket last week? In my car? No way. Yeah. The ticket came to my house because it's still registered in my name. Mom said I should just pay it since Leah's going through enough already. Quinn's eyes widened. Please tell me you didn't. I haven't decided yet. But get this. When I brought it up at dinner, Leah just laughed and said, "Consider it rent for using my old room." Your room? The one you never stopped living in? The very same. I checked my watch and groaned. Speaking of work, I should head out. The next bus is in 20 minutes, and it's a 15-minute walk to the stop. Quinn grabbed my arm. Wait, I could drive you. You're going the opposite direction. Besides, I can't rely on rides forever. Then do something about it. This isn't just about the car anymore, Cam. They're walking all over you. I stood up, shouldering my bag. What am I supposed to do? They're my family. Family doesn't treat family like this. You know that, right? Before I could respond, my phone buzzed again. A text from Mum. Leah needs money for gas. Transfer $50 to her account. Quinn caught my expression. What now? They want me to pay for gas? For my own car? I laughed, but it came out hollow. You know what the worst part is? I'll probably do it. Cameron? Quinn's voice was serious now. Remember when we were kids and Leah borrowed your college fund for that trip to Cancun? Mom said she needed a break from studying. It was your money, just like this is your car. Quinn stood up facing me. When does it end? When do you finally say enough? My phone buzzed again. Another text from Mum. Don't forget the gas money. Leah has a job interview tomorrow. I have to go, I mumbled, heading for the door. Cam, Quinn called after me. At least let me drive you. But I was already pushing through the door, the bell's cheerful jingle mocking me as I stepped into the morning chill. I had exactly 18 minutes to make a 15-minute walk, assuming the bus was on time. I was halfway to the bus stop when a familiar Honda Civic zoomed past, splashing dirty street water onto my pants. Through the window, I caught a glimpse of Leah's perfectly styled hair, her carefree laugh as she chatted on her phone, probably using the hands-free system I'd paid extra to have installed. My phone buzzed one more time. A third text from Mum. Leah says the car needs an oil change. Make an appointment and pay for it. That's the least you can do for your sister. Standing there in my wet pants, watching my car disappear around the corner, something inside me finally snapped. Quinn was right. When does it end? The answer hit me like a thunderbolt. It ends when I make it end. I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. Instead of sending money to Leah, I started researching something else entirely. The legal definition of auto theft in our state. Surprise! The chorus of voices hit me as I walked through our front door after another endless bus ride. Our living room was packed with people, streamers hanging from every surface, and a banner reading, "Welcome to your new life, Leah." My sister held court in the centre of the room, perched on the arm of our sofa like it was a throne. Her best friend Autumn stood beside her, both of them clutching wine glasses and giggling. "Cameron!" Mum waved me over. "Help me bring out the appetizers." In the kitchen, she thrust a tray of cheese and crackers into my hands. "Try to smile, dear. This is Leah's special night." What exactly are we celebrating? Her fresh start, and look how well she's doing. She has 3 job interviews lined up this week. Using my car, I muttered. Mum's face tightened. Not now, Cameron. Just be supportive for once. I carried the tray out, plastering on my best fake smile. Leah was in the middle of what seemed to be a riveting story. Doorgater. And that's when I realised I don't need a man to be happy. All I need is my freedom, my car, and my amazing support system. The gathered guests cooed sympathetically. I noticed my car keys dangling from her designer belt loop, my silver star keychain replaced with a gaudy crystal heart. Cameron! Autumn's voice dripped with false sweetness. We were just talking about how generous you are, letting Leah use your car. Actually, it's... Oh, please, Leah cut in. Let's not start that again. Besides, I'm thinking of trading it in soon. It's a bit basic for my taste. My hand tightened on the tray. Trading it in? You can't. Ladies! Mum appeared with more wine. Who needs a refill? My phone buzzed. A text from my supervisor at the mall. Running late again? 3rd time this week? We need to talk tomorrow. Everything okay, Cam? Leah asked loudly. Oh, wait, let me guess. Work problems? Maybe if you focused more on building a career instead of just whatever it is you do. Autumn snickered. Not everyone can have your ambition, Leah. I retreated to the kitchen, hands shaking as I set down the tray. Through the doorway, I could hear Leah holding forth about her plans. Thinking of selling it next month. I know this amazing dealer who can get me something more sophisticated. But isn't it Cameron's car? Someone asked. Oh, please! She barely used it anyway. Just work and home, work and home. Such a small life, you know. Laughter rippled through the room. I gripped the counter, knuckles white. Cameron! Mum's voice again. We need more ice! I was heading to the garage when I heard footsteps behind me. It was Miles, a cop I knew from high school, looking uncomfortable in his off-duty clothes. Hey, Cam. Long time no see. Hey, Miles. Didn't expect to see you here. He shrugged. Your sister invited half the town, I think. Listen, I've been seeing you walking to the bus stop in the mornings. Yeah, well, family obligations. Right. He hesitated. You know, if someone takes your property without permission... Cameron! Leah's voice cut through our conversation. Stop hiding in here. Autumn's about to make a toast. Back in the living room, Autumn stood on a chair, wine sloshing dangerously. To Leah, who showed us that sometimes you have to take what you deserve. Speaking of taking what I deserve, Leah announced, who wants to see my plans for my new car? She pulled out her phone, showing off pictures of luxury vehicles. I figure I can get a decent trade-in value. The Honda's not worth much, but... Something in me snapped. It's not yours to trade in. The room went quiet. Leah's smile turned sharp. Oh, honey, are we really doing this now? In front of everyone? You can't sell something you don't own. Cameron, Mum warned. Not now. No, let her talk, Autumn said, smirking. It's cute how attached she is to that little car. Leah stood up, swaying slightly. You want to know something funny? I already have a buyer lined up. He's coming to look at it next week. The room spun. I looked at my parents, who suddenly seemed very interested in their drinks. At Miles, who was watching with professional interest. At my sister, who had taken everything from me since childhood and was about to take this too. I walked out of the room, up the stairs, and into my bedroom. With shaking hands, I pulled up the police department's non-emergency number on my phone. Enough was enough. All the paperwork's in your name? Quinn asked, scrolling through the documents I'd spread across her kitchen table. Registration, insurance, everything. Everything. I pointed to my signature on the title. I even have all the maintenance records. And the purchase agreement? I pulled out another folder. Right here. Dated 2 years ago, with my signature and the dealer's. Quinn whistled. They really didn't think this through, did they? They never do. They just assume I'll roll over like always. I took a sip of tea, trying to steady my nerves. But selling my car? That's crossing a line. So what's stopping you from reporting it? Besides the fact that it would destroy my family? Your family? Quinn snorted. You mean the people who threw a party celebrating how your sister stole your car? My phone buzzed. Another text from Mum. Leah needs the car detailed before the buyer comes. Please transfer $200. Quinn caught my expression. What now? They want me to pay to clean the car so Leah can sell it. That's it. Quinn grabbed her laptop. Let's look up the legal definition of auto theft right now. As she typed, I remembered something. Wait, Miles was trying to tell me something at the party about property rights. Miles? The cop? Yeah. He's seen me walking to the bus stop. I think he knows something's wrong. Quinn's eyes lit up. Call him. I can't just... Yes, you can. He's a police officer, and he clearly wants to help. Before I could argue, my phone buzzed again. This time it was Leah. BTW, I'm meeting the buyer on Thursday. He's offering $12,000. I'll give you $500 for your trouble. I showed Quinn the message. Her face hardened. Call Miles. Now. With trembling fingers, I pulled up his number from our high school alumni group. He answered on the second ring. Cameron, everything okay? Remember what you were trying to tell me at the party? About property rights? I heard him shift into professional mode. If someone takes your vehicle without permission, or uses it in a way you haven't authorised, that's unauthorised use of a motor vehicle. In some cases, it can be classified as theft. Even if it's family. The law doesn't make exceptions for family. Do you want to come down to the station and talk about this? Before I could answer, I heard the front door open downstairs. Mum's voice floated up. Cameron, are you home? I have to go, I whispered into the phone, but thanks. I hurried downstairs to find Mom and Leah in the kitchen. Leah was wearing my favourite sweater, the one I'd been saving for job interviews. There you are, Mom beamed. We need to discuss the car sale. There's nothing to discuss. It's my car. Cameron, Mum's voice took on that familiar warning tone. Your sister needs a fresh start. And I need to get to work. I'm about to lose my job because of this. Don't be dramatic. Leah rolled her eyes. The bus isn't that bad. Easy for you to say when you're driving my car. Our car, Mum corrected. In this family, we share. Share? I laughed. When has Leah ever shared anything? I share plenty, Leah protested. I'm even sharing the sale money. Mum, tell her about the 500 Tarland. That's so generous of your sister, Mum nodded. See, Cameron, everyone wins. I stared at them both. At Mum's expectant smile, at Leah lounging in my stolen sweater with my stolen car keys swinging from her finger. The car isn't for sale, I said quietly. Don't be difficult, Mum sighed. The buyer is coming Thursday. No, he's not. Because if anyone tries to sell my car, I'm calling the police. The kitchen went silent. Leah's face turned ugly. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Mom! Leah whined. Are you hearing this? Mom stepped toward me, her voice dangerous. Cameron Jane, you will not embarrass this family by involving the police. Then tell Leah to return my car. Or what? Leah sneered. You'll cry to your little friend Quinn? Or maybe that cop who was making eyes at you at the party? I walked to the door, then turned back. Thursday's in 3 days. Return my car, or find out what I'll do. As I walked away, I heard Leah laugh. She's bluffing. She always bluffs. But this time, they were wrong. This time, I had nothing left to lose. I pulled out my phone and texted Quinn, I'm ready. Let's do this. Wednesday morning brought rain and another missed bus. I stood at the stop, watching the taillights disappear into the grey distance, when a police cruiser pulled up beside me. Need a ride? Miles rolled down his window. You're heading downtown, right? I hesitated, then climbed in. The heater was running, and I realised how cold I'd been. Rough morning? He asked, pulling away from the curb. Rough month? I wiped rain from my face. Thanks for this. No problem. Actually, I wanted to talk to you. He glanced sideways. That car situation. It's worse than you let on, isn't it? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. Leah had posted another photo on Instagram. My car parked at an expensive boutique. Caption reading, shopping therapy. Can't wait to upgrade this ride tomorrow. I showed Miles the post. His jaw tightened. She's planning to sell it. Tomorrow. She already has a buyer. Cameron, he said carefully. That's Grand Theft Auto. You know that, right? Another buzz. A text from my boss. Final warning about tardiness. One more late arrival, Warwickshire termination. I could lose my job, I said quietly. I'm already on thin ice. Then why haven't you reported it? They're my family. Family that's watching you lose your job and doing nothing. He pulled up to a red light. Listen, I've seen this before. People taking advantage because they know you won't fight back. My phone buzzed again. Mum this time. Don't forget to transfer money for the car detailing. Leah needs it done before tomorrow's sale. Jesus, Miles muttered, reading the text over my shoulder. They're making you pay to sell your own car? Welcome to my life. I tried to laugh, but it came out shaky. He pulled into my office parking lot, then turned to face me. You know what happens if you wait until after she sells it? It becomes fraud. The buyer could sue you. You could face charges for letting it happen. My stomach dropped. What? You're the legal owner. Everything that happens with that car is ultimately your responsibility. As if on cue, an email notification popped up on my phone. A speeding ticket from a traffic camera, the second one this month, in my name. I have to get to work, I mumbled, reaching for the door handle. Cameron! Miles's voice stopped me. The longer you wait, the worse this gets. I hurried into the building, his words echoing in my head. At my desk, another Instagram notification popped up. This time it was Autumn posting a photo of her and Leah at a wine bar in my car. Pre-sale celebration. Goodbye, old car. Hello, upgrade. Sorry, not sorry, sis. My phone kept buzzing throughout the day. Mum. The buyer wants to meet earlier tomorrow. Make sure the car is clean. Leah. BTW, I scraped the bumper a little. No biggie. Boss. See me after your shift. Quinn. Did you do it yet? Time's running out. By evening, I was sitting in my boss's office, receiving my final warning. One more strike, she said firmly. That's all you have left. I trudged out into the rain again, knowing I'd missed the last bus. As I started the long walk home, a familiar Honda Civic sped past, splashing dirty water all over me. Through the window, I caught Leah's laugh as she and Autumn drove by. My phone buzzed one last time. A photo from Leah. My car's interior covered in fast food wrappers and empty coffee cups. Oops! Guess it needs that detail after all. Something snapped. I pulled up my recent calls and hit Miles's number. Police Department, Officer Ferguson speaking. It's Cameron. About that car situation. Are you ready to file a report? I watched my car's taillights disappear around the corner, probably heading to another bar, another party, another celebration of my sister's fresh start. Yes, I said firmly. But not tonight. Tomorrow, during Leah's sale meeting. You sure about the timing? I thought about the speeding tickets, the scraped bumper, the buyer coming tomorrow, my job hanging by a thread. Yes. If they want a show, let's give them one. Okay, he said. Text me the time and place. And Cameron? Yeah? You're doing the right thing. I ended the call and opened my messages to Quinn. It's happening tomorrow, during the sale. She replied instantly. Finally! Want me there for backup? Yes, I typed back. And bring your camera. Something tells me this is going to be memorable. The car dealership's lot gleamed under the morning sun as I watched from Quinn's car, parked across the street. Leah stood next to my Honda, gesturing animatedly to a middle-aged man in an expensive suit, the buyer. Ready? Quinn asked, holding up her phone to record. I checked my own phone one last time. A text from Miles. In position. Give the signal when ready. My hands shook as I dialed the non-emergency police line. A dispatcher answered promptly. I'd like to report an auto theft, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. The vehicle is currently at Riverside Auto Sales. Can you describe the vehicle? 2018 Honda Civic Silver, license plate number JRK 4891. I'm the registered owner, and someone is trying to sell it without my permission. Officers are en route. Please stay in a safe location. I hung up and texted Miles. It's done. Through the dealership's window, I could see Mom and Leah chatting with the buyer. Autumn hovered nearby, taking selfies with my car. The dealer sat at his desk, paperwork spread out before him. Look at them, Quinn muttered. They really think they're going to get away with this. 2 police cruisers pulled into the lot, lights flashing. Miles stepped out of one, another officer from the second. The casual chatter inside the dealership died instantly. Here we go, Quinn whispered, pressing record. Through the glass, I watched Miles approach the group. Even from across the street, I could see Mom's face drain of colour. What's going on? The buyer's voice carried through the open door. Sir, Miles addressed him, I'm afraid this vehicle has been reported stolen. Stolen? The buyer stepped back. But I'm here to purchase it from this young lady. That's ridiculous, Leah's voice rose. This is my car. Tell them, Mom. Mom stepped forward, wringing her hands. There must be some mistake. This is a family matter. Ma'am, the other officer cut in. We have a report from the registered owner. Can you provide proof of ownership? Well, Leah fumbled. Cameron gave it to me. Did she transfer the title to you? No, but do you have any documentation showing your right to sell this vehicle? The buyer's face darkened. What's going on here? Sir, Miles said, I'd advise you to step away from this transaction. The legal owner has not authorized this sale. This is insane, Leah shrieked. Where's Cameron? Cameron! That was my cue. I stepped out of Quinn's car and crossed the street, my legs somehow carrying me forward. Right here, I said. The look on Leah's face shifted from shock to fury. You called the cops on your own sister? The vehicle is registered to Cameron Davidson, Miles stated, checking his notepad. She has reported it was taken without permission and is being sold without authorization. But she let me use it, Leah turned to Mom. Tell them. Officers, Mom stepped forward. This is just a misunderstanding between sisters. Is this your signature on the title, Mom? Miles showed Mom the documentation I provided earlier. No, it's Cameron's, but then you have no legal right to facilitate its sale. He turned to the buyer. Sir, I suggest you leave now. The buyer didn't need telling twice. He practically ran to his own car. You've ruined everything! Leah lunged at me, but the second officer stepped between us. Mom, please step back! Autumn had stopped taking selfies and was now filming everything on her phone, her mouth hanging open. The vehicle will need to be impounded until ownership is verified, Miles announced. Though given the clear documentation, that shouldn't take long. Impounded? Leah's voice cracked. But I have plans tonight. You can take the bus, I said quietly. The tow truck arrived as Leah dissolved into tears, Mum trying to console her while shooting daggers at me with her eyes. The dealership manager had disappeared into his office, probably hoping to avoid any legal complications. You'll regret this, Leah hissed as the officers escorted her away from my car. I'll make your life hell! I watched as my Honda was loaded onto the tow truck, its silver paint catching the sunlight. Quinn stood beside me, still recording. How does it feel? She whispered. I thought about the last 2 months, the missed buses, the late arrivals, the humiliation of watching my sister parade around in my car while I walked in the rain. It feels like justice. As the tow truck pulled away, I heard Leah's final shriek. What am I supposed to do now? I turned to her, 2 months of anger finally finding its voice. I hear the bus isn't that bad. The police station's fluorescent lights cast harsh shadows as I sat filling out paperwork. Across the room, Leah was having what could only be described as a nuclear meltdown. This is harassment! She screamed at the desk sergeant. She gave me that car! Mum, without documentation, I want to press charges against her! Leah jabbed a finger in my direction. She set me up! She humiliated me! Mum burst through the station doors, Dad trailing behind her like a guilty shadow. What is the meaning of this, Cameron? Mrs. Davidson, Miles intercepted her. Please keep your voice down. This is a police station. This is ridiculous, Mum's voice rose anyway. We're family. Family doesn't steal from family, I said, not looking up from my forms. Steal? Leah's laugh turned hysterical. You're just jealous because I was finally getting my life together. With my car? You never even went anywhere fun with it. I went to work, the words exploded out of me, to pay for the car that you stole. Ladies, the desk sergeant warned. Oh, this is rich. A new voice joined the chaos. Braxton, Leah's ex-husband, strolled in with a smirk. I saw Autumn's live stream. Couldn't resist coming down to watch the show. What are you doing here? Leah shrieked. Enjoying karma. He leaned against the wall. Remember when you took my credit cards? Karma's fun, isn't it? Get out. It's a public building, sweetheart. Officer Ferguson, the desk sergeant called. Perhaps you could escort the ex-husband out. As Miles led Braxton away, Dad finally spoke up. Cameron, surely we can work this out, as a family? Like how you worked it out when you took my car? I finished the last form. Or when you made me pay for gas? Or the speeding tickets? or the detail job for a sale I never authorised. Those tickets were in your name anyway, Leah snapped. Exactly! I slammed the papers down. Everything was in my name. The insurance, the registration, the liability, all while you joyrode around town playing Fresh Start. You wanted! There's a difference. Enough! The desk sergeant stood up. Mr. and Mrs. Davidson, your daughter Leah attempted to sell a vehicle she didn't own. That's fraud. The registered owner has provided documentation proving ownership. The matter is clear. But, Mum started. Additionally, he continued, there are multiple traffic violations associated with unauthorised use of the vehicle. Would you like to press charges, Miss Davidson? The room went silent. All eyes turned to me. Cameron, Mum's voice turned sugary sweet. Think about what you're doing. I have been thinking. For 2 months while I walked to bus stops in the rain. Please, Dad tried. Your sister made a mistake. A mistake? I laughed. A mistake is borrowing something and returning it. This was theft and fraud, and you all helped her do it. Leah's face crumpled into familiar tears. I'm your sister. You can't do this to me. Actually, Miles returned, holding more papers. She can. And given the attempted fraud today, she probably should. I'll make you regret this, Leah hissed. I'll tell everyone what you did. You mean like how Autumn already live-streamed everything? Quinn spoke up from the doorway, waving her phone. Too late. It's already trending locally. Mum sank into a chair, head in her hands. The embarrassment? What will people think? They'll think, I said, signing the final form, that actions have consequences. Officer Ferguson, the desk sergeant called. Please explain the next steps to Miss Davidson, the registered owner, that is. Miles led me to his desk while my family watched, their faces a mixture of shock, rage, and disbelief. The car will be released to you tomorrow, he explained. Given the documentation and circumstances, it's pretty straightforward. This isn't over, Leah called after me. You think you can just go back to normal after this? I turned to face my family one last time. Mom's disapproving glare, Dad's defeated slump, Leah's mascara-streaked fury. No, I said quietly. I don't think anything will be normal again. And that's exactly what I wanted. Quinn appeared at my side. Ready to go? Just one more thing. I handed the final form to the desk sergeant. I would like to press charges. Cameron, Mom gasped. Actions, I repeated, walking toward the door, have consequences. As Quinn and I stepped out into the evening air, I heard Leah's wail behind us. But how am I supposed to get around now? I smiled for what felt like the first time in months. I hear the bus isn't that bad. The familiar purr of my Honda's engine filled me with satisfaction as I pulled into my new apartment's parking spot. Quinn helped me unload the last box from the trunk, both of us exhausted but smiling. Last one, she said, setting it down in my small living room. How does it feel? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. Mum's number flashed on the screen, the first contact in weeks. I let it go to voicemail. It feels right, I said, running my hand along the wall. Different, but right. The voicemail notification pinged. Mum's voice filled the room as I played it on speaker. Cameron, this has gone far enough. Leah's court date is next week. You need to drop the charges. She's your sister. Call me back. Quinn rolled her eyes. Still trying to guilt you? Every day. I deleted the message. Dad sent me a text yesterday about family loyalty. The same loyalty they showed you? A knock at the door interrupted us. Miles stood there, still in uniform. Just finished my shift, he said. Thought I'd check how the move went. Come in, I gestured. Quinn and I were just celebrating with takeout. He settled onto my second-hand couch, accepting a container of lo mein. Your sister's lawyer called the station again, trying to get the charges reduced. Let me guess. She's claiming it was all a misunderstanding. Actually, she's claiming you gave her verbal permission, but without documentation. Speaking of documentation, Quinn pulled out her phone, Autumn's live stream hit 50,000 views. The comments are pretty unanimous about who's in the wrong. My phone buzzed again. Leah this time, calling from a new number. I declined the call. She's been making new accounts to message me, I explained, switching between threats and begging. Classic narcissist playbook, Miles said. When manipulation fails, they cycle through tactics. Another text popped up. This one from Dad. Your mother can't sleep. She's worried sick. Please reconsider. They're all worried now, I said, showing the text to Quinn and Miles. Funny how nobody worried about me when I was missing work and walking in the rain. Or when you almost lost your job, Quinn added. How is work? Miles asked. Better. My boss actually apologised after she heard the whole story. Gave me a small raise to make up for everything. My phone lit up with an email notification, from Autumn, surprisingly. Cameron, I'm sorry for my part in all this. I should have seen what was happening. Leah's not who I thought she was. She's been talking about keying your car when she sees it. Watch out. Well, Quinn mused. Looks like the enablers are jumping ship. Speaking of ships, Miles set down his food, the DA is pretty confident about the case. Your documentation was thorough. I learnt that from Dad, ironically. He always said to keep every receipt, every paper. I laughed. Bet he regrets that lesson now. A final text came through, from Mum. We're your family. How could you do this to us? I showed it to Quinn and Miles, then typed my response. Family doesn't steal from family. Family doesn't watch someone struggle and laugh. Family doesn't commit fraud. You taught me wrong for years. I taught myself better. Send it, Quinn urged. I did. You know, Miles said quietly, most people never stand up to family like this. They let it go on forever. I almost did, I admitted. If Leah hadn't tried to sell the car... Sometimes people push too far, Quinn said. They get so used to taking that they forget you might stop giving. My phone stayed silent, no immediate response from Mom. Maybe finally they were listening. I walked to my window, looking down at my car in its designated spot. The silver paint gleamed under the streetlight, the small star keychain back on my keys where it belonged. I should head out, Miles stood up. Early shift tomorrow. Me too. Quinn gathered her things. You good here? I looked around my small apartment, paid for with my own money, filled with my own things, keys to my own car on the hook by the door. I'm good, I said. Really good. After they left, I sat in my quiet living room, feeling the weight of the past few months finally lifting. My phone remained silent. No more guilt trips, no more demands, no more expectations to sacrifice myself for someone else's fresh start. I had my own fresh start now, and I didn't have to steal it from anyone. Walking to my bedroom, I passed the mirror in the hallway. For the first time in years, I recognised the person looking back at me, someone who finally chose herself, and I didn't regret it for a second.